Hey, everybody, welcome back to the podcast. You're listening to Our Fantasy Game. I'm your host, the Game Master, and this past weekend, I actually ran the game at a mini Comic Con at the Richland Mall in Mansfield, Ohio, where I was a guest of honor, basically. They sent me up on a really big table at center court, right in the very, very middle of the mall. And then during the convention, various people showed up, and a lot of them had an existing D&D character from, some previous campaign they'd been in, and they would have the stats on their phone. And a lot of people just had dice in their pocket. So they would just join us. And I ran the exact same thing that I was doing last time. So rather than me doing a recap of that, just check out the most recent video I uploaded if you want to know what we've been doing. So then in this adventure, at the start of it, all I really did was tell everybody that the farmhouse from the last game is near a crossroads. And so before we talked about a small road that goes from north to south. And about a mile north of the farmhouse is this village where everybody seems to have been abducted, right? And then the player characters previously had come south on that small road, and they've sort of turned this farmhouse where the farmers and stuff that lived here are missing. So they've turned this farmhouse into kind of a base of operations. And their spelljammer is docked here, and it looks like a sort of like a pirate ship, but it flies. Well, so the we said here at the crossroads, then the road that goes east to west is like a major trade route. And so everybody who showed up uh at the convention and wanted to play Dungeons and Dragons, I just told everybody the same thing, which is your character, for one reason or another, is, walking down this major roadway, and you see this pirate ship, not in water, like you would expect it to be. And that was enough of a hook that they would go investigate the farmhouse. They met the other party members, like our half dragon air maiden character that my wife plays, the one that we started calling the crocodile. Everybody thought that was funny, a lot of chicken jokes and stuff. And at any rate, the everybody piled into a boat and went out onto the swamp. So we are doing exactly what we were doing last game. And all that we accomplished was we had killed four large crocodiles, earlier. And then the big fight that lasted the longest was eight harpies. And that went on like forever. And as a brief aside, um, I'm running the harpy fight, and I look up and I see my dad in real life. I mean, he showed up at this convention, which is super weird because literally I've only ever met my dad three times in my whole life. So it was bizarre that he showed up. And I felt terrible because I'm in the middle of running the game. So Brad, who's one of our regulars, he was to my immediate left, and I said, "Holy crap, that's my dad." And everybody was kind of like, "What?" And including my son. My son had not seen my dad since he was like 5 years old, and my son is 22 now. So yeah, like it was a huge deal, and everybody's like, "Well, go." Like, this is just a game, family comes first. So I visited with my dad like for a while, and so did my wife. And at any rate, when it was all said and done, he left. He had driven to the convention from out of state. He drove home. We went back to the gaming table, and I thought they were going to be like way further into the adventure. You know what I mean? And so I sat down and I said to Brad, all right, where are we at? What did I miss? And he kind of laughed and he's like, we're still fighting these harpies, you know? And I was like, seriously? Like, okay. So yeah, that harpy fight lasted for hours. And eventually they killed all 8 harpies. And then they went back to the farmhouse for a long rest. And then after that, they went out in the swamp again and they killed 4 giant leeches. And then they were low on hit points. And then some of the guys who had been playing were like, hey, we want to kind of get up and stretch our legs and we want to see more of the convention and stuff like that. And I was like, that's fine. So then we actually switched over to my superhero game that I run. But yeah, that was it. That's like all we really accomplished this weekend with D&D was we killed 8 harpies and 4 giant leeches, and that was it. But the biggest takeaway was meeting new players, exchanging phone numbers and stuff. And I am really, really looking forward to them joining the party like permanently. So we'll see how that goes. But that's it for this one. Hopefully you guys liked it. If so, as always, we would love it if you smash like, make sure you're subscribed, and leave us a comment. And from all of us here at our fantasy game, we hope you have a good one, and we'll see you in the next adventure.